Welcome to Life on Life's Terms, episode 40. It's your host, Justin, and
it's Kenny.
We're going to get into what happened over the past weekend, what's going on in the next weekend, and this new moral issue called cybersex.
Robot pussy.
So, you and I both had crazy busy weekends this entire last weekend.
Yeah.
Where did your weekend start?
So, this weekend I ended up, what did I do this weekend?
You had recovery day.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I had a recovery day event.
But what happened before that?
I don't know, I'm having a brain fart right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how was recovery day?
Recovery day was awesome. I got to hang out with Scott McKean, who is the city councilor, Edmonton city councilor for Ward 5.
Yeah, you're right.
5.
Yeah.
Ward 5. And I got
biggest ward in the city of Edmonton, actually.
Yeah, and he's got a killer mustache, and he's a real dapper dude, dresses real snazzy.
Yeah.
I took a couple selfies with him, and then I said to him, Scott, we're dressed just alike. He goes, yeah, you look good. I'm like, so do you. I'm like, are you my real dad? Yeah. So we had a good laugh, and he committed to helping out this nonprofit that I work with. So that's cool.
That's cool.
I'm totally going to hold him to that.
Yeah, hopefully.
I know that next recovery day, so I'm still on the committee for it, right? So the next recovery day in Edmonton, I am going to get Theo Fleury in.
That's cool.
Yeah, to speak. So that's something that I'm driving towards, and we're already reaching out to him. I got him on LinkedIn, and my buddy Howie just sent him an email today too. So
that's excellent.
Yeah, we're doing big things.
How was the band?
The band was actually really good.
Yeah.
So there was Benjamin Williams, and he's kind of like a honky-tonky, folky kind of singer, but he's got a good attitude, and he put on a good show. And then, but there was this young group of kids, they were 16. They're called Janesa.
Okay.
And they were awesome.
Yeah. How do you spell Janesa?
I don't know. I'll have to check.
Trying not to put you on the spot.
Yeah. You just did. So I'll have to look at my email.
Okay.
So I'll check that later.
I just thought if anybody out there was looking, right?
Yeah, 100%. I'll pull it up here in a sec.
Okay. Well,
what did you do?
We could also throw it in the description. How was the atmosphere for Recovery Day?
It was good, but once again, I had another event like this too, where you gotta, the amount of energy and effort that go into creating your product or service that you're displaying or putting on.
Yeah.
There has to be an equal ratio towards your marketing plan.
Yeah.
Because we really shit the bed when it came to filling that place. It could hold 1,000 people.
Yeah.
And we maybe had 100 people in there.
Yeah.
So I know next year, I'm going to start ticket sales 6 months prior and really work on it. Yeah,
I think I know the other thing within my fellowship, they didn't know about it very well. They didn't hear about it at all. And obviously, obviously that would be a good niche. But other than that, there were some people who did know about it within my circle. So just as an outside guy, I didn't affiliate myself with Recovery Day, so to say. All I did was I just asked around to see if anybody had heard about it. And then I started promoting it at some of the meetings that I go to.
Yeah.
And so it seemed to me, there's a little bit more interest, but I only knew, I think only had particulars about a week or 2 weeks before something.
Yeah. Well, next year, I'd appreciate your help there with me.
Yeah. We'll just go to meetings.
Well, we'll get you on the committee.
That's okay. I'm on enough.
So Janesa is spelled Jenesa.
Oh, awesome.
And they're just young kids. They're under 18, but they put on a good show.
What kind of genre would you put them in?
It's kind of pop. So they just did a whole bunch of covers.
Okay.
And they were mint.
Were they the main stage?
Yeah.
Main event, yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool. And the honky tonk guy opened?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. How are you one for country?
Yes. I like all music except for gangster rap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what I listen to anymore.
I don't know. It's just it's all ego, and it's like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm better than you. I got more money than you. I got more bitches. It's like, oh, okay.
I think the new stuff is like that. I still like the older stuff. Yeah. I mean, that's what I was raised on.
So like I never knew how like serious NWA was until I watched that documentary, The 13th.
Yeah.
And then they posted the lyrics like written form. And like those guys were talking about some serious shit.
Yeah.
Like how they were totally like ostracized and just labeled criminals just for being black, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how it really was. And I never realized that was in the lyrics. I never really listened to them, right? That was a little bit before my time.
I kind of remember Rakim way back in time. He was in the movie Juice with Tupac.
I remember the movie, but I don't know who that guy is.
So the song was The Edge. That was like the beginning song in that movie.
Yeah.
And that was Rakim. And he went through some pretty serious stuff. I think the only reason why I really identified with that music so much was being French and being ostracized outside of the English community.
Yeah.
And people not really liking me because of being French.
Yeah.
So I really identified with that culture. You know what I mean? I was already like French people. We've been basically rapping in French to Rick James for years because most of us couldn't understand what Rick James was saying.
I rub my feet up on your couch.
Yeah. And also like, so there was like Rick James stuff. And then there was also James Brown too. So what we would do is we actually would loop things.
Yeah.
And then some guy would speak French over it.
Yeah.
And then it was on the guerrilla radio. So like big shout out to We Funk Radio in Montreal. Cool. If you guys go and Google We Funk Radio, they play some serious hip hop, and it's like urban hip hop. Like they'll have sometimes Jay-Z will just drop in, literally, because it's that well known in Montreal.
Yeah.
And you can, I think, like I remember when I was out here, I would run We Funk in my vehicle, and people were like, "What the fuck is this?" I was like, "This is Montreal hip hop. Like this is our radio station. This is what we get all the time." But it was a guerrilla radio station, so they didn't have like here in Canada. Americans have the FCC. Here in Canada, we have the CRTC, which is the same equivalent. So like We Funk at that time, still to this day, they don't have their permit, and they move their radio station like every week so that they don't get caught. and like Montreal's a big city. Like it's close to 2 million people. So I mean, it's really hard to hide in that city, you know?
It's so beautiful, man. I've never been to a nicer place in Montreal.
Well, Montreal is like the smallest, biggest city in the world. Well, in Canada for sure. Like in Montreal, you can live there and live in a neighborhood. I'm sure I've said this before. I'm repeating myself. And go to the corner store and still have a weekly bill.
Wow.
And then you just pay it like every week because the community knows who you are.
Yeah.
Yet you live in a town or a city the size of 2 million people.
Wow.
So like you don't leave your neighborhood. You know what I mean? Once you're in that neighborhood, you're in that neighborhood.
I'm going to have to go to Montreal with you.
There's no point in living. I'm not going back to Montreal anytime soon. That's not a good place for me.
Oh, okay.
This weekend, I posted on Instagram going to the Tibetan Bazaar.
Oh, how was that?
Amazing.
Yeah.
So a bazaar basically means like a, what do you call it? Like a market.
Okay.
And I got to have some Tibetan, Nepalese momos. Amazing. I was hoping there's really yak in it, but there wasn't.
What is that?
Unfortunately.
What's a Nepalese momo?
It's basically just like a dumpling with meat in it.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
Like a dry
healthy.
one or like a moist one?
Moist one.
Oh.
Yeah. And then they also gave us, they gave us aloo something. Aloo means potato. So it's like potatoes, but it was like really hot, spicy potatoes.
Yeah.
It's great food. And then, there was some monks hanging around and all that stuff.
Just the odd monk?
There's about 4 or 5. I went into a talk about love.
Yeah.
And how to love and stuff by this one monk. So it started off about love, but then he changed the topic, I think, and went into the poisons of anger within the description of the Tibetan way or the Buddhist way.
Yeah.
And how to beat that poison in your life.
Yeah.
It was really, really insightful. Really, really neat to see how those philosophies line up with AA, like the traditions of the 12 steps, as well as even the Catholic faith and even some Protestant stuff. It really lined up really, really well. I mean, I don't think that the Buddhist philosophy is really, how would you say, offensive to anybody, you know? So it really lined up nicely. And then there was a bunch of like just stuff for sale. Like I got some new mala beads that I've been using for meditation.
Yeah, I see those.
But I meditate often anyways. It's part of my daily thing.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was a really good weekend. It was nice. I was really pissed off before it, but then kind of calmed down when I was in there. And then big shout out to Grindstone Theater. Checked out our friend Corina's Sorry Not Sorry improv.
Yeah.
Fucking mind blowing. It was really, really good. And I got to hand it to the Grindstone. If anybody's ever in Edmonton, you need to check out the Grindstone. And the reason why you need to check out the Grindstone is the bar is not part of the theater. So it's like separated. The bar is out in the front. And then the theater is a completely black room, like just off that you have to actually go through a door and there's a stage and the whole bit. It was a really, really nice venue for something like that.
Cool. How many people fit in there?
40.
All right.
Easily. You know, there's probably about 15 of 20 or 20 of us. First show of the season. And they did a really, really good job. I mean, I laughed. It's a long form improv show.
Yeah.
So they did really, really well. I enjoyed myself quite a bit.
When's the next one?
Not this weekend, but the weekend after. So like I want to say the 5th of October, I think.
Okay.
This weekend though, it's D&D, which is still by Sorry Not Sorry production.
Yeah.
And so actually it was Thunderprov that I saw last Saturday. Sorry Not Sorry is the production company. And then there's D&D. So it's basically an improv based on D&D. You know, those freaks who play that magic game, or D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. So it's based on that premise, but it's pretty funny. As much as I don't really know D&D, I was still able to like the show at the Fringe Festival when I saw it. So it was okay in that regard. But I don't really know D&D, and I was okay to be there. Actually, I grilled Karina about it quite a bit when she was here on the episode. So that was pretty good. That'll happen this Saturday, and I think that was it for my weekend. I went to a shitty restaurant before fucking the improv show.
Yeah.
Pissed me off. It was one of these.
Throw them under the bus?
No, I'm not going to throw them under the bus. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to say it was one of these places that I loved. I loved this place. And then I went there this weekend, or last weekend, and it was just shit.
You got a shit sandwich?
The worst kale fucking salad I've ever had in my life, because it was like, it's not even that money matters, but it was like $23 for an appetizer fucking kale salad.
That's ridiculous.
Per person, it was $46.
That's ridiculous.
For 2 fucking salads. Like,
that's not good.
Mind you, here in Edmonton, we have this new thing coming up called $15 minimum wage. So we're going to be seeing all of these restaurants either raise their rates or start shutting their doors. You know, like, it's going to be a pretty crazy situation here in Edmonton, I think, when it comes to this, to the restaurant business anyways. I mean, $15 an hour is a lot to accommodate, and most people who make even $80,000 a year can't accommodate $15 an hour for a service. Like, they just can't.
Yeah, and then, you know, prices are going to go up, and then people are going to tip less anyways. So,
well, that's where it's coming from. Like if you go to Quebec, I think food service is usually $6 less than minimum wage, because they expect you to tip that amount at the end of the meal, right? So it's pretty. It's going to be a sad state of affairs.
How much do you tip?
Well, I'm a 15 to 20%er.
Yeah.
Typically.
I do 15 just because that's the bottom line average.
Did you know, though, that people who come from a blue-collar background are more likely to tip higher? Like most people who make $80,000 and more tip less than 10%.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. Yeah, that's no shit.
I'm going to start tipping less then.
People who make more money.
Then I'll make more money.
People who make more money actually spend less in regards to like tipping and all that stuff. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm sure you listeners out there will totally go on the website and tell me how wrong I am, because that just seems to be what's happening these days. By the way, I don't read your negative comments. None of us do. They just go straight into the delete pile. But thanks for your supposed constructive criticism out there.
If anybody wants to constructive criticize me, go right ahead. Kenny_Cantrell on it at Instagram. I'll entertain your shit.
Oh, yeah. What's your Twitter now? You have a Twitter.
I have a Twitter, yeah.
Congratulations to the Twitter world.
Yeah, I think it's Ken2 Consulting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be all right.
Yeah.
How is school going for you?
School's good. So I'm like near the end of getting my diploma. I booked my exam. I rate my exam on the 18th, the day before I go on that retreat.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a couple weeks of study, and
excellent.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. I got one assignment left to do, and then I gotta do a practicum. So it's like 38 hours or something like that to do the practicum.
Do you know where you're going?
Well, I was going to go to a World Health Club, which is like a big box gym in Alberta. They have lots in Calgary and Edmonton. But, I was going to go there because they have like this entrepreneurial thing where they kind of like train you how to bring in your own clients. But then again, you're bringing in clients to give away to this franchise or this organization,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And, but like they do have benefits and stuff like that. And like I'm a dad, so like benefits are great when my kids get sick or need puffers or dentist bill or whatever, right? But I'm kind of changing. My feelings are changing, and I think I might go with this one bodybuilder. He's like a professional bodybuilder, and he does competitions, and he trains everybody just the way he trains. And he's got like old ladies, and he's like his slogan's like why lift light, lift heavy.
Oh yeah.
And like he's got these old ladies in there just crunching these hypertrophy reps with like no rest in between and supersetting and drop setting and stuff like that, and they're loving it. And he's got quite the following, and he's like got his own brand going and stuff like that, but he's more of like entrepreneur. So I think like, you know, if I go with him, like I'll have a lot more in common with him in that sense, in the business aspect of it, instead of just going into like this big organization, right? And just being a cog in a wheel.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that's always a decision anybody has to make.
Yeah.
Myself starting, I guess, enough companies now, learn what you can and then leave when you're ready.
Yeah.
That's what I've always, and it's not about competing against the person who taught you all this stuff. It's literally, in my opinion, the more competition, the healthier the business is. Aside from podcasting, this is the only business model that I've ever seen where it's in your best interest to have as many podcasters as possible so that you can all kind of enjoy each other's time and be on each other's shows.
Yeah.
This is not a cutthroat business. It's not about you guys suck. And
so like saying that, like, let's get some shout outs from some other podcast channels and let's collaborate.
Yeah. I mean, obviously if you go to Life on Life's Terms Instagram, new Instagram page, there's a bunch of podcasting people, I guess, that are now part of that, like that Instagram page that we have now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I also, though, am kind of partial to the you and I sitting in front of each other. I think there's something to that as opposed to having somebody call in and plug them through the board and all that stuff.
Yeah. That's impersonal.
Yeah, and I think... So that's a nice segue. Why don't we use that? So if your girlfriend decides to get a cyber sex toy that is like AI, might even have a better conversation than you with them.
In a bigger package?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they get to pick exactly what they want.
Yeah.
Right? And they go to work and they just get pinned all day long.
Yeah.
By this thing. And then they come home to you and they don't want anything with you. They just want you to cuddle them. Have they cheated on you?
We're doing anal.
What if it's already done? The robot's already taken that from you as well.
Well, then I'm just going to go fuck this robot then.
But my point, right? So like the question of monogamy comes back now. You know, like in regards to, are these robots? I mean, there almost needs to be a point now, because pornography itself is so readily accessible, where you need to have a conversation with your partner and be like, hey, if I watch porn, do you consider it cheating? You know, because it's so readily available, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a good line of respect for your partner, if it's going to be a mutually exclusive relationship or whatever, you know? So I think now with these new cyber sex toys, it needs to be almost asked, like, because like before, women would buy dildos and we as men couldn't say anything about it really, for the most part. I guess some guys would get really upset about it, like some of my guy friends would, but then it all becomes just this fucking, well, what right do you have to tell me what I do with my vagina?
Well, I never got upset about it. I always looked at it like an accessory. You know what I mean? Like if I ran out of juice too quick, boom, I got backup right there.
Sure. I mean, I guess one of the things is with some guys, they're just too they're too insecure in order to see that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
but what about these artificial intelligence?
Well, that's what I'm getting at. From the dildo, I mean, really, we had no say. Women were going to do whatever the fuck they wanted anyways. It didn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Now, with these things, I mean...
It's like, where do you put it? In the closet? Under the bed? Just chilling on the couch?
No, it'll sit. Like, it lives. It's like, it's a fucking around. AI thing. You were watching videos and stuff before the show to see this stuff, and it's like it can actually talk to you. It can converse with you in a way that you want to. I mean, we're already to a place now. If you statistically look at millennial men, for instance,
I'd be scared it would like malfunction and rip my dick off.
But most millennial men are not engaging in relationships because of pornography. That's the truth. If you look at the number of relationships, and I'm not saying marriage, I'm saying just relationships, most men are not out there looking for women. They would rather just watch porn and masturbate as opposed to getting into a relationship.
I don't know, bro. You better speak for yourself.
I'm just saying, statistically speaking, that's what the trend is showing.
Is it?
Sure, for sure it is. And a lot of it is because a lot of millennial men are actually afraid of women.
I can see that, yeah.
And so because of that, this now allows them a liberty to just look at porn and not have to be in a relationship. And a lot of women feel unfulfilled because men are not out there dating, right? So in saying that, now that we have these new sex robots coming out...
I gotta get one.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight up.
Why go look for a girlfriend?
Well, I date lots all the time. I watch lots of porn with my dates. Yeah. Why not watch porn, date, and have a robot?
There you go. I mean, I guess, pretty soon it'll be sex robot threesomes.
Yeah. Snap.
Right. Like that's kind of...
How much do these things cost?
That's kind of... It's kind of strange, though, to think, though, that even...
We should get one on the podcast.
Fuck
that. Just have this sex robot here all the time.
No, we're not going there. We're not going there. I think Howard Stern had something like that. Remember he had the Orgasmo G4 thing, and he'd get all these porn girls on his show, and he'd make them have an orgasm on, like, the radio before he was in the satellite.
Yeah.
Right? He used to do that shit all the time. I mean, I don't know. I'm not... All I'm getting at is that it's crazy how quick the conversation has changed with monogamy.
Did you know I'm related to Hugh Hefner?
No.
Yeah, I am. Through marriage. But like my uncle is actually like Hugh Hefner's like third cousin.
That's unfortunate. He was broke when he died, Hefner.
Well, I don't know. This guy's not getting anything anyways, but...
Yeah, just saying.
But it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's all right. Apparently, the mansion was really run down actually when he died. Like it's in disarray. It's not worth what it used to be. Anyways, back to the topic of these sex robots. The reason why I bring this up is if anybody looks at the article in Vancouver tried to open, somebody in Vancouver, Canada, BC, British Columbia, tried to open like a whorehouse.
A brothel.
Yeah. With sex robots. And it was turned down because they said it was unethical. I mean,
how is it unethical?
I'm a guy. I'm pro legalization of prostitution. I think like whatever. I mean,
yeah,
I have no qualms about it.
Well, like selling is legal and fucking is legal. Why is selling fucking illegal?
Because the government's not making money on it.
Oh.
In my opinion. I mean, when I was in that industry, as a security, I guess you could say, there was a huge movement from legitimate pimps to become legalized because really the services that we were providing for a lot of people, it allowed men not to be so angry with women for the most part, because a lot of men just, for whatever it is, can't get laid. They just can't get laid. I don't know what it is. They just can't.
It all depends on your perception and it has a lot to do with how you were brought up. And like if you've seen your mom take money from your dad his whole life and him not even get any action, well, fuck, she was just on an installment plan. You know?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
She was just on an installment plan.
I think that there's just some guys. There are just some unfortunate guys out there that just aren't appealing. You know what I mean? They're, for whatever reason.
And then sometimes
there's a group, and we can make light of this. We have to be very cautious though in this topic. There is a group called Men Who Not by Choice Are Virgins. Okay? I'm fucking that up. There's an actual acronym for that social group. That's one of these guys who shot up a bunch of people in Toronto. Okay, he was basically upset because no women would fuck him, and he
needs a fucking robot.
But he was 37 years old.
Get that guy a robot.
He was 37 years old, never been laid, and then just went out and killed a bunch of women. And the reason for it was because he was so upset that women just wouldn't, like, they didn't want a relationship with him.
Why didn't he just pay a few $100?
True, but then they, some people feel that's dirty or whatever. I mean, I'm not going to go into why he didn't. I can't speculate what his thinking capacity is.
Yeah.
All I can say is this is what he said to the reporters, right? So my suggestion would be, yeah, maybe the robot thing is right. But then again, I mean, I really don't care what anybody does, but what I am getting at is now when you are in a mutually exclusive relationship with a partner, you have to maybe have a conversation like, this isn't a dildo though. This is another robot that you can actually have companionship with through the AI that's placed within their brain. And they know everything that happens in your feed, and they're going to remember all this, all the stories that you said when you were a kid that they'll never forget, and they'll be able to draw upon and all this stuff. And I mean, I'm just human.
And he's better than you.
And so like that's a scary, in my opinion, not really scary, but it's just a strange conversation to be with somebody where you're like, so I think that if you buy a cyber sex robot, that's being like, that's infidelity happening, only because like it infringes on the piece of like the companionship.
Yeah, I almost think that like, if these things are that intelligent where they can like console you and be there for you all the time, then I think that would be more infidelity than actually just going to a brothel.
Yeah.
Because like with an escort, you pay them.
But hold on though, that's the thing. That's the thing though. With an escort, I had high-end escorts. My high-end escorts only had like 10 or 15 clients, and they remembered every single one of them. And their wife's names even. They remembered their kids' names, so they would remember them. That's the beautiful thing with these robots, Kenny, is that they could remember 25,000 clients and not have to worry.
So we need an army of these things.
Like that's kind of the crazy thing, right? Like, it's kind of crazy. It's just crazy to see.
How much are they?
I don't know. Look it up.
Okay.
I don't know how much they are. I guess my opinion is that it's the entire package, right? Like, what did I'm sure I'm going to piss somebody off, but that's okay. We have a good lawyer. Somebody said to me a little while ago, they said there would be no such thing as a lesbian if dildos were never invented. I'm kidding. I'm only kidding. I mean,
joking.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. YEG.
YEG. Sorry, not sorry.
I mean,
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. I mean, I guess this is one of those things, right? Like, this is one of those things where, I mean, all of a sudden a dildo has become a walking, talking robot, and a palm pussy has become a walking, talking robot as well. And the fact that we have to make these decisions when we're in these relationships is kind of strange, I think. And I think that's strange for humanity as itself, right? Like,
we can buy a Scarlett Johansson replica for £34,000.
That's like 34,000 pounds. So that's almost 50,000 here. It's like 47,000 Canadian. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's definitely not something that, I don't know, man. I'm just not really interested in that. I just thought it was interesting seeing that topic where they're like, I mean, as a brothel, I kind of don't give a shit.
I think we're looking at about 10,000 pounds here. We can get a half decent one.
Yeah, I don't know.
This one here is only 2,500.
You know what you could do is just give a shout out to them and see if any of them
want to come on the podcast.
Not even if they want to come on the podcast. They just want to send us something for a week. I mean, I'm not going to use it, but you can all day long if you want.
Yo, I'll test it right out. I'll pay shipping.
Yeah, I mean, if that's...
I'll go live with it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean... How would you even bring that up to your girlfriend?
I still live at my mom's. I wonder what she would say.
If you brought this thing. Yeah, because you had that story where she caught you in bed with a girl, right?
Yeah, a few times. But yeah, that one, yeah.
The one was good. So now instead it's a robot?
Yeah. What are you going to say to that?
I mean, back to the burlesque thing or the brothel thing. I think that's okay. I mean, I think that humans are okay in a brothel too, really, if that's where they want to be and that's what they're doing. And that's the way they make a living. I mean, whatever. But I don't know. I mean, if it's robots, I don't get how ethically it's incorrect. I mean, can you really talk to Siri or Alexa like a fucking asshole? I mean, does it matter? You paid for them. It's the truth, though. It's the truth. It's Siri. What the fuck? When Siri is on your phone, what, you're going to be nice to Siri? Come on. Bitch sucks sometimes. You know? Same thing with Alexa or whatever. Alexa.
So I think we can get like a top-notch one here from the States for 15 G's. American.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Does it self-clean?
I don't know. I'd have to read into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Harmony 2.0.
Where are you with, what if you found out your girlfriend didn't tell you because she just assumed that it was okay, and then you found out that this thing was in her closet at work?
Listen, bro, my prerequisite to date somebody used to be that they had to be previously an escort. I would only date girls that used to be escorts. That's how fucked up I used to be. So a sex robot, that's nothing. Go right ahead.
Yeah.
Bring them into the bedroom. I want to watch.
Yeah, I don't know.
I want to watch. That's it. I got no qualms as long as like I get to see it once in a while too.
But what about the piece? What about the piece about the intimacy? Like, and the fact that the robot is a better conversationalist than you.
I'm pretty good at connecting with anybody that I'm put in front of. And if I'm in a relationship already and she's more mentally stimulated by a robot, all the power to her.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not here to say that I want to control anybody, but at the same time, I don't think that falls within anything that's close to monogamy. You know what I mean? By seeking something out like that, that means that there's something already inadequate within the relationship prior to them going to go check out a robot.
I'm liking that sex robot page on Facebook.
Oh, there you go.
I'm going to follow them.
Okay.
I'll see if we can get one for the podcast.
Yeah. If you really want to, that's...
Put a mic in front of her. That'd be a good interview.
Have you ever heard the Alexa thing from Steven Crowder?
No.
So they asked Alexa from Amazon who Jesus Christ was. Yeah. And it said, it's a fictional character. He was pretty upset about that. And then they asked him about, asked Alexa about Aisha, who was Muhammad's, one of his wives.
Yeah.
Who was 9 years old as his wife.
Yeah.
And they asked if Muhammad had ever beaten her. And, I guess it suggested that he has. I'm not going into it.
Whatever. Jesus basically, to me, was an alien. So
could be. I mean, the fact of the matter, I guess this is what it boils down. And then when you ask Siri about Jesus Christ, it's like, well, he's a Jewish priest, basically, is what it says, right? So yeah, I mean, I don't know. This whole AI thing needs to be worked out, and I think we have to I think we need to tap on the brakes. To be honest with you, I think socially we need to tap on the brakes with this AI stuff. Really look at what's going. I mean, we have fucking ethics when it comes to psychiatry and psychology. Yeah. Okay, there's ethics committee for those kinds of things. There, in my opinion, there needs to be an ethics committee when it comes down to this AI stuff, because really what's happening is AI is being sold just like our media in the context of a narrative. So like if I want to buy a sex robot that talks to me like a particular stereotype that I find attractive, I can do that.
Yeah.
And that's fine. If you're the customer and that's what you're paying for, that's fine. It is what it is. But what I'm also suggesting is if you buy something like, I don't know, an AI platform that is like Siri or something, and it's just spewing out incorrect facts, then that needs to be altered. That needs to be changed. Because if there's anything that we learned in our history classes as children was this: if you don't know history accurately, you're bound to do it over again. And God knows I don't want to see anything like World War II happen again. And I definitely don't want to see anything like World War I happen again. And in my opinion, a lot of those facts are being skewed. Even now, like if you look at permanent record is gone for the most part. And when we look at digital record, what scares me is you and I right now, Kenny, at 40 hours, which is will be 40 hours today, is enough time that we set enough vocabulary and vernacular for people to manipulate something into us saying something that we've never said before, and nobody would know the difference between me actually saying it and it being recorded on this podcast.
Well, that's why we have a lawyer.
Sure, but in the same breath, what's scary about that is if that can be changed, why can't facts of history be changed? Because it is.
Justin, I think all the history that we learned in school was all bullshit anyways. It's all been manipulated.
I believe that there's a large portion of it that was indoctrinated, for sure. I mean, the fact that they say that neo-Nazism is a far-right ideology is incorrect. It's flat out. It's incorrect. Nazism is from the left. Kid you not. Nazism is coming from fascism coupled with socialism and Marxist values. That's what Nazism is. So if that's what Nazism is, that's a far left ideology. Communism is a left idea. It's not a right idea, which would be free market capitalism. And free market capitalism at an extreme side of right would be like, you can't afford a hip, I guess we just shoot you. Like, that's what it would be. You don't have the money, you don't get to play, right? And I mean, that's the far side of right and free market capitalism. Well, I don't agree with that either.
We almost do that now without shooting them. We just send them to jail.
Okay, so right quick, because we only have about 5 minutes or so to get into this. So I know somebody who's getting an operation.
Yeah.
They were asked the level of care of resuscitation they want. Because here in Canada, for those Americans, we have this thing called euthanasia now. Actually, they call it, well, it's euthanasia. So Dr. Jack Kevorkian is alive and well here in Canada. So anyways, they give her like a scale of like R1. This is the one that we will go far and beyond to keep you alive. And like C1, couple breaths, nothing's happening. Fuck it, let's pull the plug. And you get to pick this before you go into any operation now. And then there's like a middle ground, like, I'm kind of suggested to suicide, but don't really have the balls. So if I'm slipping under, fuck it, just take me out. like this is what you get to pick now. So what somebody might be able to do is just pop a hip in Canada, make sure that you're going to the fucking hospital, and be like, lowest resuscitation possible. If I'm going under,
or just leave this one in God's hands.
Yep, fuck it. Yeah, exactly, right? But you get to pick now the level of resuscitation that you want.
Just give me a double shot of fentanyl. And
if you're having a bad day and you think it's going to be too much for you to revive me, fuck it. Just walk away. It's okay. I don't want to inconvenience you at all.
Because I'm Canadian, right? And I really care about you.
And I just checked a C3. Sorry. And walk the fuck away, right? Like that's the fucking Canadian way now, right? I mean, yeah. I don't know how we got from
sex robots
to
hip replacements.
Well, I don't know if it's hip replacements, just that
might blow at your hip while you're bringing the sex robot, and then
right, fuck up the pelvic because the steel. You just rub that fucking rubber right off, right?
Just ramming it.
Could you imagine? I wonder what.
I don't want to imagine. I want to try it.
You know, it's going to be fucked up. I wonder what kind of STDs and STIs are going to come of that from people fucking the machine without cleaning it. Because humans are humans. It's going to happen. I mean, it's going to happen. Or like if somebody gets their penis stuck in it, or some
what
woman
happens
gets
if it like
stuck,
and it's like it's metal, man. It's a machine,
and it fucking holds you there.
Oh, it just rips it right off, or like pops a nut or something like that,
or it just rams it right through her.
I don't know, man.
And how do you stop something like that?
Yeah, what do you do? Is there an off switch?
I just don't agree with this shit.
Is there a kill switch?
I don't know.
Do you have like a safe word?
I don't know.
Turtle.
I almost have contempt prior to investigation for some of this stuff. Like I just don't even want to investigate.
I'm emailing these guys tonight.
Right on. We'll follow up next week and see what happens. So we do have Sober October next month.
Yeah.
That'll be the next episode coming out. And we've been promoting the hell out of it on the website, so on and so forth. This is something that's very near and dear to me, and I think also you.
Absolutely.
This is a great cause over the month. If you are somebody who's just abstaining from alcohol and you're probably normal and you just want to see what it's like to live like us sober guys for 30 days, I would encourage you to go onto the website at www.lifeonlifestermspodcast.com and tell us daily, weekly, hourly, how much you think it sucks not drinking and using drugs. Because on our side, it's not so shitty, I think.
Yeah, and we'll be able to form a good rebuttal, not in the form of an argument, but in the form of useful information that you will be able to apply and get results from.
Yeah, and also if you're a parent, go to the website and please submit to us through the email piece your story about walking through this with your child and some success, or maybe if your child's died, please share that with us too. And if you're a recovered addict, send us your story of recovery. We'd love to publish it on one of the pages. I'm setting up a page just specifically for that, and I'm not going to read all of them. I'll edit it because I'm sure we'll get enough. And we're going to put that up on the website too. Visit this website. This website is for you guys. You get to see all of the pictures of the past guests if you're not following our Instagrams. You also get to see some of the stuff coming up, like the meditation thing that you and I are about to embark on.
Oh, should I talk about my booking?
Yeah, if you want.
Well, I'll just touch on it because I don't have all the details yet, but I'm going to a meditation retreat, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a silent retreat.
So you're not allowed to talk?
Well, I don't know all the details on it yet, but I think like I'll have there's this girl there, Lucy, who is going to be working while I'm there that weekend, and she's going to bring me through certain activities like doing inner work or spiritual work or something like that. And she's going to give me a list of different activities that I can choose from, and I got to like kind of build my weekend. And
are you staying in there? Are you staying in? Awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to stay there the whole weekend.
That's excellent. Yeah. That's excellent. And that's where are you going? Where are you doing that?
Star of the North.
Yeah, that's
Star of the North.
Yeah.
Yeah, Star of the North. It's a big church in St. Albert, which is like a little subdivision city that's attached to Edmonton.
Yeah, that'll be a good time. I think I'm heading to the Tibetan, so I'm going to the Buddhist temple here in Edmonton.
Yeah,
I have 3 things set, and then we have a surprise. I have a surprise for you and I.
Sick.
That we'll probably pull into that episode.
Yeah.
And there's some serious guests. I don't ever like to say who the guests are coming because sometimes people just cancel due to whatever.
Yeah.
And I hate to have those expectations put upon me.
I got a good confirmation today.
So I think next month it will be majorly, like the majority of the content will be recovery based.
Yeah.
And we'll probably leave, and then in November it'll be a different theme basically.
Well, even the one that I'm bringing in, very strong message there on that topic.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's great. I mean, I like this theme stuff, especially the Sober October thing. Like I said, you and I both live in recovery, and this is what it is. Anyways, we're done for time, so wrap us up.
Our shirts are coming out right away, so keep your eyes open for our shirts. Shout out to Liam Connolly at Connolly Law for all your Canadian law, will estates, and media issues. Google Liam Connolly Law.
And if you want to sue us, go see him.
Go see him.
Yeah, just Google Liam Connolly Law, and he'll tell you where to go.
Yeah. Anyways, I appreciate all of you listeners. Contact us, be our friends, follow us, share us.
And happy Friday. Have a good one. Until next week. Bye for now. See ya.